Okay, so this is a more personal question. I first heard about Tantra a few years ago after I started exploring yoga. It's been really interesting to learn more about it, and I'm sure there's still so much to discover. I'm curious about how you discovered Tantra, Libby, and how it has changed your life. Ooh. So I was introduced to Tantra by a partner that I met. This was back in 2013. I was in my late 20s. I'd had an interest in yoga. I'd attended some yoga classes, but more on the kind of for the physical benefits than really understanding anything about the spiritual nature of it. But I guess there was a seed sort of planted from that. I was working part-time as a personal trainer and a sports massage therapist at the time. That was kind of my passion project alongside my regular 9-to-5 job. And I think just through learning or being introduced to this idea that there was an alternative narrative about sex, and how we can use or put our sexual energy to good use, and how it's not just something that has to be shameful, or all the kind of typical negative messages maybe that I'd heard growing up, and all this sort of conditioning around sexuality, a lot of fear and a lot of shame, a lot of guilt. So it was really refreshing, I think, at that time, to be sort of shown something different, and it just really resonated for me. I started training and exploring workshops with the New Tantra, who are the Tantra school that I'm still really involved with. And they have, so the New Tantra has a very modern take on Tantra. They blend scientific research with spiritual practice, and they kind of present that and share that in a really no-nonsense way. So it really resonated for me, with not being too kind of huffy fluffy, but still presenting this sense that there is more available to us when it comes to how we experience our bodies, how we experience physical, emotional and energetic sensations, how we connect with other people. And I think that's made huge changes for me in my life. I mean, first of all, it's just I quit my 9-to-5 and I started pursuing the work that I do now, blending my love of helping people enjoy their physical bodies with this more specialist approach around intimacy and sexuality. But my tantric practice and the tantric path has also helped me quit alcohol. So it's made me a lot more aware of the strategies that I was using to numb myself or keep myself disconnected from people, to kind of deal with difficult emotions. And through a lot of the practices and the skills that I've learned through my training with the New Tantra, I just feel more able to feel what is going on, and therefore show up in the world in a more present and aware and conscious way, which I think is sometimes really challenging. Spiritual practice, this is something that I learned from Alexa Vartman, the founder of the New Tantra. Spiritual practice isn't always easy. It shouldn't always feel good. It is a challenge to your ego, and through those challenges and discomforts, we find growth, and we find freedom from the conditioning maybe that has been put on us through our upbringing and society, and just to kind of live from a space of choice around that has been very liberating for me. On the sexual level, I've my sex life has completely changed. I've gone from being very needy and ashamed of my sexual desire to being very relaxed about sex, and obviously it's now part of my work and what I speak to people every day about. But it's I've gone from being very, very limited in my experience of pleasure. I could never orgasm with a partner. I could only ever orgasm on my own and with a vibrator, and very, very, very limited in how I could kind of access pleasure, to this much subtler, yummy connection with my body. So I've learned to embrace so much more. I've learned to drop into this sense of polarity with partners, so being able to surrender and access these more full body orgasmic experiences, being able to step into more of a leading or masculine or space holding role for others as well, which again has opened up like a whole new world of sexual experiences when I've this kind of the pleasure in guiding other people and seeing other people's bliss was very different to the sort of quite greedy, self-focused understanding that I had of sex before I discovered Tantra. So I hope that's answered the question. I would love to hear if you're exploring Tantra, if you have been studying Tantra. I would love to hear in the comments the changes and the impacts that it's had on your life. And remember, if you have any other questions about Tantra, about me, about intimacy, about bodywork, pop those in the comments as well, and I will do my best to answer them in future videos.